What if this salmon was genetically modified? Last November, officials in the United States gave their permission for it to go on sale in shops inside the US. But it's not allowed in Europe. EU officials are not convinced it's safe. And Greenpeace says it's differing safety standards between the EU and the US that are being pushed aside in a bid to rush the free trade deal through.
If the position of the US as it stands in these papers is also reflected in the final version of the agreement, then it means the end for all preventive measures as we know them in Europe.
The deal is known as the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, or TTIP. Talks have been taking place since July 2013 in a bid to make it easier to trade between the US and the EU. Supporters say the agreement will be worth more than $100 billion a year across a large number of industrial sectors. And officials are hopeful agreement can be reached by January next year, before Barack Obama leaves office. But Greenpeace says that big business will be given too much influence on regulations in the future, and that rules governing the safety of pesticides, cosmetics and genetically modified foods would be loosened. But the EU says the documents have been misrepresented.
Quite frankly, some of the points that Greenpeace has been making on the basis of these documents are flatly wrong. For instance, it is being said that the European Union is ignoring in these negotiations the precautionary principle that is nowhere reflected upon in the documents.
The precautionary principle is a separate set of EU safety regulations which negotiators say will ultimately ensure that no unsafe products enter the EU. Greenpeace has opened a reading room in Berlin where people can check the papers for themselves. EU negotiators argue that a final version of the trade deal is still under discussion, with the next round of talks set for July. Andrew Hopkins, TRT World.